So Terry Argy sent them to Terry Argy sent them right now. Terry Argy sent them to me and my wife to sign papers to go into the Bank of Ireland and get our information. We signed the papers, all right, and O'Connell will come and go and tell us good news. So the 28th day of August 2011, Mark O'Connell come with a deal on bank paper, which I have. And I had 50,000 saved for my daughter getting married, which I had it upstairs. And he asked me, had I any money? And I said, I had 50,000. So he said he told the lady in the bank that, and that was okay. So he came with paperwork. I had to borrow 410,000, 406 and a 4,000 charge. So the lady in the bank told me that there was going to be no deal, but O'Connell said he got a deal done, that he was good at doing his job. So anyway, I was only out of hospital after a big cancer operation. O'Connell came with the paperwork. A deal was for 200,000, 175,000 cash, and 25,000 over 3 years. I have that on paper, bank paper. 25,000 over 3 years interest free. Now I had 50,000 and I was borrowing 125 from my brother. I was happy with the deal. But the long and short of the story is O'Connell said he couldn't give a receipt for the 50,000 for his confidential bank deal. He was a sheriff from Meath County Council. He showed me his badge. But it was all fraud. There was no deal. He went to the bank twice, and the bank lady in the bank, Margaret O'Connell, Bank of Ireland, made it clear to him she had moved to Navan, and I was very ill to travel. There was going to be no deal. But he made up his own paperwork and got 57,000, and him as sheriff from Meath County Council. But before he got into Meath County Council, he was out selling fake health insurance. And how he could get into a local authority body is beyond me. So I want Meath County Council to be held responsible for hiring a fellow with a record that smelled like a septic tank. Now, I went to the guards. The guards took them 8 months. It cost me €3,500 with a solicitor writing to the super to get the guards to go after O'Connell. They didn't want to go after O'Connell because I had my own men out checking after him. O'Connell was bringing information into the guards and they couldn't go after him. They'd run them down. The DPP wouldn't let the case go through. All the guards were concerned is where I got my money. They pulled me out of a chair after an operation, had to be rushed to hospital. The abuse I got from the guards was unreal. Now, I was a millionaire. John Moriarty, Carol James, Terry Argy, Roland Brown, Jennifer O'Connell, they were all from Canoga Asset Management. I wrote to every member of the government. I wrote to the ombudsman, why did it take the guards so long? They say you must make a complaint within 4 months. I wrote to GSAC. I went to the Garda commissioners, the man that said he was dealing with a Kerry headbanger. Our country is very corrupt country. The government gave themselves a rise last week of 5,000 a year on top of what they're getting. Disgusting, and all the people just lying on the street. Out of the hospital, you're lying on the hospital bed, waiting on a trolley, waiting on a bed. And the government is earning more. They're not worth. They wouldn't be worth. I wouldn't hire them to sweep the yards. They're driving around in big cars, state cars. They're not even driving if someone's driving. They have 2 drivers. one minister in this town and a man in the Senate in this town, a man in the Senate in this town, and a government minister, Fianna Fáil man, and the senator and a Fianna Fáil county councillor run a pub in this town for 5 years without a license. And not alone that, the judges, the solicitors, the guards, the whole lot were drinking and eating until all hours in the morning. Now, that was bad enough. This man, this minister, he only lives a few doors away from me, sitting behind Mr. Martin, which I had great respect for, but not now, because I sent the paperwork up to not yet. Up to the new Taoiseach, which he couldn't run a mouse, and he elected a judge in the first day in office. The judges are disaster. You see the cases. Mountjoy is full of criminals, and nobody's afraid to go because it's a lovely place. Now, the judges are legal aid solicitors. They love the lawbreakers. So there should be nobody in Mountjoy if you had a proper justice system. Punishment to meet the crime. That's not it at all. The guards are committing crime, that go around the tripping other with lies. The bankers are committing crime. This country is rotten to the core. The ministers and TDs are ripping off a small Irish state. Charlie Flanagan went off there a month ago and he had 500 more foreigners to sleep on the streets. Now, I'm suicidal and I'm dying of cancer because if you lost last week's wages, wouldn't deny you. I lost 54 years hard work. I paid for over 2 million in my working life. And my wife's aunt, her mum died when she was born in Florda. And Dad worked in the Anglo Celt office. And when I got married to Mary, my wife, which was the baby where her mother died, met her in Lourdes in 1970. I moved in to live with Mary and her Aunt Molly in 71 when we got married. And she was a mother to me. And she left us 69,000 when she died at the age of 89 in 91. That 69,000 cost me 410,000, money I hadn't got. But I have bridge and loan pending and John Moriarty being I thought he was an honest man, but I believe all the Moriartys are all fraud. Anything to have is true fraud. And Carl James cannot be got. He changed his phone number, and he is director of an investment company, Cronog Asset Management. Ronan Brown, if you ring Ronan Brown, he hangs up the phone. Jennifer O'Connell is the director. Terry Argy, that was looking after me money, he runs the business in town, AOR Insurance. The guards would not go after O'Connell because he was an informer. He'd written them down. So justice came to me because I put my business up on Facebook. I'm not an educated man. I'm not a computer man. Anybody could know I worked hard for my living. So I'm left today with nothing. The bank has the deeds of my home, the deeds of everything. John Moriarty is out there in Florida working on stolen money. 1.2 million in mine. Over 13 years, that should be worth 2 million. Now, I lost everything. I had a small business. The bank has it sold. So, where is the justice in the world? I asked for Mr. Trump to go after John Moriarty and his crowd called a Duggan, their company. doing big. John Moriarty, not a millionaire, a trillionaire. The government paid him 25 million for a damaged property in Blanchardstown, restoring damage. So what I want in Ireland is, when I'm an Iron man at 70 years of age, I want the people of Ireland get rid of Leinster House and ours and Uachtaráin. We don't need a little man going around shaking hands to taking money from the state for 60 years and the pension he's getting and a president's pension. What asset is he to the country? Going around shaking hands, and his wife and a load of security men. We don't need them. In America, the government is run by the president. We have a shower here that is unbelievable. Our government's rotten to the core. At one time we had Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, and you had Labour, you had opposition. In this country today, they're all one shower. And Ireland has gone back to the 1916, to the English was tramping across Ireland and shooting the Irish in the back of the head and the back of the neck. You couldn't go to the shops. Our government are worse than the black and tans. In our country, England controlled us in 1920. 1920, then De Valera done a deal, and the blue shirt shot Michael Collins because he signed his treaty. That was something that should never have been signed, because Ireland is corrupt since that was done. Like the rich, the big-time gangster can buy the law. A brown envelope will buy the justice from the government. Like me, I'm a nobody, no education. No solicitor will work for you unless he's getting paid. No, I went to a legal aid solicitor with Cormac O'Connell. She was a Miss Riley. I had to pay €150 to see her, wait a month. My wife came with me and she says, "Oh, there's two of you." I said, "Yes, there is two of us." My wife's involved in everything. Well, she says, "I can do nothing for you." And I was up to the guards. I know it was up to the guards, but the guards wouldn't do it. It took them 8 months, cost me $3,500 from a solicitor to get a guard to take a statement. Didn't hear from them from 3 months after. All she was worried was, where did I get the money? Next thing in November, it came an letter from the DPP, case couldn't get through, it wasn't investigated. And I knew myself it wasn't investigated. DPP is not fit for office. The judges are not fit, they're not qualified. They're elected in by politicians before an election. And you see that case turned on where the woman was battered and she left an invalid for life. That man should have got the lethal injection. Mountjoy is bigger than the Mother Hospital, and that's a big building, because it's no going to jail, Mountjoy now, it's going to a holiday camp. If you hurt someone in their homes, I know we can shoot them now, cut the hand off at the wrist so that it won't hurt them again. If you kill something, hang them slowly. It's hard death, punishment. And if you rape a girl or punish a girl, castrate them and do it in a cruel way. And I will guarantee you that people won't be afraid to walk down the street of their own town, or they won't be afraid to go to bed at night, because there'll be nobody in Mountjoy. This country is what's in it. The gobshites is fit to talk plenty and do nothing. That's what this country is. And if we don't get people in, to people in to run this country, non-politics, pay 100,000 a year. That's 2,000 a week. And if they can't live on 2,000 a week, and don't give them big cars, let them drive their own cars. They're eating and drinking. In the old bar, there was 79,000 ruled off. Two men in Cavan Town, Joe Riley, 5,800, Brendan Smith, 7,900. Now, is that just? And they're talking about a fair, the minimum wage of 200 and something a week. The old people got a £5 a week of a rise, and the government got 5,000 a year, and more as you went upgraded. That's how this country is run. Corruption, fill me pockets, fill me pockets. That doesn't stop. Ireland is a third-class country. I was reared up in the 50s when there was nothing in Ireland. We had ration books. I had no father. My mother was on Parkinson's disease. And I started my full-time job at 11-year-old because it was a guard's son and a guard's wife was the teacher. So what do you think? That went on. The crookedness and crookedness went on down the country. Ireland is a country that I grew up in. I paid more tax than I had for myself. And then a gangster like John Moriarty is set up that my money was totally taken away. And no justice. Nobody. I went to Michael Martin up, I rang his secretary. She said she'd have to see the paperwork. I went up to Dublin. I'm an old man with cancer. I went on the bus and I put on nappies on me going to Dublin. That's how bad I was, to Leinster House, to meet Michael Martin's secretary. Went to the gates and there was policemen at the gates and they phoned up for Michael Martin to come down, Michael Martin's secretary to come down. She came down. She signed for the paperwork, and 6 months after, I rang up looking for them. There came a letter from a fellow called Jim O'Callaghan with the file. And all that Jim O'Callaghan was concerned was the Revenue Commissioner. I was in trouble with the Revenue Commissioner. I never was in trouble with the Revenue Commissioner till Molly left the few pounds. So Jim O'Callaghan I read his letter out. He said the investment that John Moriarty got the money for never took place. And they didn't know where the money was. That's how I was treated. The revenue got the full money. That means the government got it. The wasters of the whole European Union, Ireland is corrupt. They had to go to Germany to borrow money to keep the country ticking over. But they didn't give up 100,000 a year of their wages, and them are nearly $1 million a year. Where would you go? Angela Merkel is the Queen of Europe. And she'll have to change her attitude. She'll have to get rid of Leinster House and ours and out to Rome. And put in about 17 or 8 good men or women. I'm not love women, men or women, intelligent people. Pay them 100,000 a year to get this country back on its feet, that there's justice for everybody, and get rid of the criminals. So like a John Moriarty, he had a brown envelope, he was fit to buy the law. And he's there on a blue shirt with Peter McDonald's name. That's not Peter McDonald with the fellow with the blue shirt. I'm Peter McDonald, the old, sick, bald-headed man. They got it all wrong. Pádraig O'Connell should be in jail for all the wrongs he has done. Meath County Council, whoever hired him, O'Connell was good at rugby. Like the boys in the north that got off for that rape case because they were good at rugby. That's justice for you. Pádraig Khan got a job in a local authority, got into people's homes as sheriff, and he came from Limerick, 12 of a family to live in Coolock, and had a big house in Navan, and just with good at rugby, you could go out and rob people like me. And he had a guard tied up, couldn't go after him. If you had a fair law in this country, the guard shouldn't be afraid to go after. They come up here to me 2 days out of a big cancer operation with 21 stitches up my stomach, pulled me out of a chair to arrest me for putting the true story up on Facebook, the way the guards treated me. Is that fair or just? Like, I'm dying, and I'm dying a very sad man. I tried suicide 6 times, but my wife was on my heels. When you lose your home, when you lose everything, I only pleasure in life I had was working day and night. I used to buy myself a new car. The last car I bought in 2010, it was towed away from the gate. That time my life is. And they didn't want to give me my pension. I paid into Irish Life for 40 years. It was indexed when I was rearing my family. And Irish Life and the financial regulator are so corrupt with NAMA that I carry money from one bank to the other. When my pension was renewable, it was worth 24,000. I couldn't take out 24,000. I could take out 7,000. And the rest was paid out at 118 euros per month. And they didn't want to give me a state pension because I had over €1 million invested with John Moriarty. So that's Ireland for you. And we have a government that smells like a sewer. Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil are all the one. So what way is this going to end? Sad state of affairs. Welcome back into the stages where someone else will be running this country, and Ireland will be back into slaves as they were for 300 or 400 years by English rule. So that's the way. So please, somebody out there, seek justice, because it doesn't exist in this country. It's the bigger the gangster you are, the more popular you are to government because you're speaking their language. Peter MacDonald, 3, Cherrymount, K. Julian, Cavan Town. And anybody that wants to phone me, 353 8727 41502. And before I die, please get me help, please. Thank you.